Hey everyone, Callum from Cagefront here. Welcome back to the channel, and if you are new here, welcome to the channel. We have a new video segment on the channel. It is MMA Melts. MMA Melts is going to be a reaction, just a collection of reactions from me when it comes to Reddit pages. It might be the MMA Reddit pages, the UFC pages, the MMA meme pages, or it could be some posts on like Instagram, it could be TikTok, just getting my raw fluid reaction to just what the MMA community has to offer. I'm very keen to go through this just to see what kind of crazy or credible posts the MMA world does have, and I'm very keen to go through them with you guys. So this is going to be a new segment coming on the channel, be happening every couple of months or so, and if it picks up and you guys like it, we can definitely do more of that. So I'm very keen to do it, and without further ado, let's get into it. Charles Oliveira is a quitter. Michael Chandler. Charles Oliveira has a little quitter in him. Also Michael Chandler tapping at the end of the 5th round after getting basically 50-45. Yeah, look, I'm not going to be surprised if at some point, I don't know if it actually has happened or not, if someone has actually tapped, like just like friendly tapped and not actually tapping, and the ref has called it off. Definitely leave a comment in the description below if anyone has done that, but that is kind of ironic. But I mean, Chandler, man, the guy, he did get dominated, to be fair, but the guy is so entertaining as well as being a cheater. But man, Charles Oliveira though, in terms of that quitter mentality, man, he just threw that straight out the window, honestly. Credit to him. But yeah, Michael Chandler, man, come on, no more glove grabs, eh? Real shit. Who is the fighter of the year? We've got Ilya as Hitler, being the first man to beat Volk in his division, being the first man to KO Max Holloway, and as a sexy Georgian man, of course. And then we've got Alex Pereira as fighter of the year, beat Yuri on short notice, beat Jamal Hill coming off a year layoff, and that has Cope, and life and death with Khalil Roundtree, which is a great fight and not a sexy Georgian man. So this guy is probably obviously trying to focus on Ilya being fighter of the year. And honestly, when we look at the two of these guys, it's really actually hard to say. It's honestly is between the two of them. You've got guys that are kind of on the outskirts like Carlos Prates and whatnot, who have just been killing everyone. But when we look at Ilya and when we look at Pereira, these guys are obviously the top two we want to look at. Ilya has beaten less opposition, but the quality of opposition we cannot question. He's beaten Holloway and Volk. Hasn't just beaten them, has chinned them badly. And Pereira, obviously, when it comes to the UFC being for the company, this guy is the company man. He is coming in on short notice, beats Yuri, beats Jamal on arguably the biggest card that we've ever had at UFC 300, and obviously has a very exciting fight against Khalil Roundtree. Now, those fighters, in comparison to Pereira, are not as close as, you know, Ilya being on the same skill level with Max Holloway and Volkanovski. People just look at Alex Pereira being so far ahead, but that's more credit to Alex Pereira, not to take away from him. But ultimately, when we are looking at that quality of opposition, Ilya is the guy that has fought absolutely outstanding guys. If you look at Max Holloway and Volkanovski on one side, and then you look at Yuri, Khalil, and Jamal on another side, they're good, but they're not Volk and Max Holloway. Come on. I honestly, I probably like Pereira better, but I think I would honestly edge it to Ilya at this point. But yeah, very, very neck and neck between these guys. Well, Alex saved at least 2 fight cards this year, 100%. Yeah, he did. And stepping in on short notice too, fought a ton of times this year, and both the short notice fights he got KOs as well. And he's also a sexy Brazilian man, so bonus points there, come on. But then looking at, oh yeah, all these are pretty just kind of basic comments here. Yeah, this one here, I would probably give fighter of the year to Ilya, since he definitively beat 2 145 all-time greats. However, there is an argument to be made for Alex. 100% agree. It's pretty self-explanatory within that. It's realistically 50-50. If someone is to get fighter of the year, and it's as long as it's one of those two, no arguments here. In a parallel dimension, No chance in hell. No way. Conor and Khabib, not a chance. They have literally been beefing since they fought, and they're still beefing now. I mean, we've got Usman Nurmagomedov, who's probably going to be fighting Paul Hughes. Paul Hughes is from Ireland, and Conor, he's literally already spoken to Conor about being in his corner, and Khabib is obviously going to be with Usman being his cousin. Man, I pray that happens. We just need more carnage. I mean, Conor is probably honestly never fighting again, and Khabib has literally just got him in his pocket. Khabib has ruined Conor McGregor without a doubt. I'm very keen to see the comments on this one, honestly. One of those hands is Dana's. He can't keep his hands off Conor. Yeah, AI is like, it's still... Yeah, AI's definitely still got a bit of work to do, that's for sure. I mean, it's getting good, and we're gonna be fucked soon, but it definitely needs some work, that's for sure. Oh, more Jon Jones and more Tom Aspinall stuff. We ain't getting this fight, lads. Jon Jones, sure, I don't know why his name's Johnny Meat. Okay, sure. Call me duck for the next year. Eventually, Tom will lose within the next 2 or 3 fights, and my legacy will go on as the greatest MMA, I think it's fighter ever. End of story. Now, I don't like, I can understand with Jon Jones saying that, you know, with his legacy, with Tom Aspinall losing, you know, that really just solidifies himself, and he's going to have the last laugh. But who's going to beat Tom Aspinall? Who's beating him? Unless it's going to be Jon Jones, or unless Alex Pereira lands like something fantastic in the first round without getting taken down. I just don't see it happening. And Jon Jones, obviously, he's backed into a corner, UFC 309. There was obviously the post-fight speech. He didn't say Tom Aspinall's name, but I think Jon Jones did do the smart thing in terms of saying, you know, he wants Alex Pereira, but he's not completely closed off to fighting Tom Aspinall, but he needs a shit ton of money to fight him, enough money to where if he loses, it's not gonna matter. Now, obviously that can just be all talk, just all air, we don't know, but I honestly have to agree that this is just never gonna happen. I've legitimately never seen a fighter talk so much about not wanting to fight someone in my life. That's completely fair. I mean, it's not gonna happen. I don't think I've ever seen it either, realistically. At this point, it seems like he's just trying to build PR, so he has leverage against Dana to pay him a hefty amount to risk losing to Tom, which he likely will. Completely agree with that. He has no choice but to fight Tom, so he either vacates or does it, and I think he wants the money as building the hype to increase his payday. 100%. Without a doubt, that is spot on. I would not disagree with that at all. He's not fighting Tom even for a huge bag. He cares too much about his legacy and ego to fight someone he knows he can lose to. Honestly, I think that he's actually just called him out, like in terms of wanting that money as leverage. He said it. He wants a huge amount of money. That fight is just not going to happen. I think he does care too much about his legacy and his ego for sure. He probably will be asking for around like 100 mil. I would not be surprised at all. I mean, it's literally, I mean, it's just flowing on. It's literally like the Ngannou negotiations on crack. It just is not happening at all. People need to rewatch this fight. What a beatdown, man. Holy. O'Malley just destroyed Chito Vera in this fight. He was a beast. I mean, looking at him going into the Merab fight, you can tell obviously stylistically that there are concerns for him there when it comes to the wrestling, which is interesting with Chito, because Chito's actually a BJJ black belt, so I don't know where that's gone or where he's got it from or what's happened, but he has no ground game whatsoever. But man, the guy has a chin. The guy has a granite chin. I mean, that knee that O'Malley landed, holy moly, literally hitting a golf ball with a bloody driver. That's what it sounded like. It's going to be interesting to see who Chito actually fights next and what he's actually going to do, because Chito's not beating the top 5. He definitely is not. There's no one in there that he just doesn't have a versatile enough arsenal to actually beat any of them. I don't see who he could really fight next. I wouldn't mind seeing him fight Song Yadong again. That would be pretty good. But looking at Sean O'Malley, I think Sean O'Malley should probably fight Jan again. Have that rematch, have it 5 rounds. I mean, obviously there was a lot of talk around Jan being robbed, and then O'Malley, you know, shouldn't have been winning, which I disagree with. I think O'Malley did win 29-28, to be honest. If you rewatch that fight, rounds 1 and 3, you look at volume and consistency overall through those rounds, I think that he did just edge it. Argument for Jan there, without a doubt, but if we have that at 5 rounds and we look at how good Jan was against Figgy the other day, man, it could be a completely different story. But the good thing is it gives Sean O'Malley a chance to really prove himself, especially if he can take out someone that has never been taken out and is in extreme form like Petr Yan at the moment. Aljo defends Merab in the great Umar debate. He's standing on business. Aljamain Sterling explains why Merab Dvalishvili is not interested in fighting Umar Nurmagomedov. Some people think Merab is afraid of fighting. That's hilarious. From what I understand, Merab is just standing on principle. Bro, I'm from the same area as you. I had to come here and bust my ass to get a title shot, and you're going to get it off 1 win. That's crazy. I think that that's fair, to be honest. I can understand Merab's point. You look at Umar, he's literally fought a Kazakhstani fighter outside of the top 15. He got dropped as well in the first round. Then he won the second and third round decisively, but he did not have a clean win, literally outside the top 15, and then gets Corey Sandhagen at the second ranked spot. I do think that there is a bit of an issue there when it comes to obviously him just going straight for the title, because his surname does carry him. We got to be honest here. The Nurmagomedov name without a doubt is going to push him through, which it has, but also at the same time, the guy is extremely skilled, great taekwondo based style, kickboxing style, along with the sambo. But when we look at Merab and who he's going to fight, who can he fight? Who can he realistically fight that properly deserves it? You can argue Jan. You can argue Petr Yan. I mean, he did 50-45 Jan. And on a business side of things, obviously the UFC kind of wants fresh names at the top. Jan's already been a champion. And then we've got Davison Figueiredo, who's just lost to Petr Yan, so he's out the window. Corey Sandhagen's on a loss. He definitely can't be ahead of Umar. That would make no sense. Sean O'Malley has literally just lost. I mean, with Sean's stock, I wouldn't be surprised if they actually just made a rematch straight off the bat with that. But I don't think Merab is scared of Umar. I think that that's a big thing going around in the MMA community at the moment. I don't see him being scared by any means. Do I think that Merab can beat Umar? I do think he can, but I don't think he will. I think Umar's just got too much of an offensive threat. I do think that it probably will happen, but you've got Ramadan as well, which is a bit tricky when it comes to making that fight, because it's Merab wants to fight, I believe, a bit later and then Umar a bit earlier. Might be the other way around, but it is hard finding that date. So we could honestly get Merab versus Sean, or we could get Merab versus Jan. Literally any 3 of those fights I'm not complaining with at all, to be honest. So why should Merab fight then? Almost everyone in the top 10 are coming off losses. O'Malley is still hurt, and Jan got 50-45 a year ago by Merab. Umar is the only one that makes sense. To be fair, pretty much what I said, yeah, that is pretty much true. Well then, when you put it that way, give me Dominic Cruz. Dom Cruz needs to fight like Jose Aldo or Henry Cejudo. Just have a good, like, old school kind of fight that's still up the top there and call it a career. I think that that's the best for him. Yeah, I like Petr Yan, but you just beat Petr Yan, sit down. Yeah, it's a bit tricky there. I do want to see Yan back as champion, though, without a doubt. I love that guy. He is just a beast of a fighter, technical masterclass against Figgy. Aljo was right up until Yan beat Figgy. Now, unfortunately, Umar deserves the shot. Yeah, I do see that. To be fair, I do understand that he should be getting that shot next. Conor McGregor has been dropped by proper 12 Irish whiskey. McNuggets has done it again. He's cooking it. He's not having a good time. Obviously, you know, the scandals between him and obviously some woman, and then obviously having his wife involved in it as well. I mean, there is a lot going on with Conor. I mean, he got dropped by Hitman. He's been dropped by a proper 12. I mean, he's just continuously going through court. He's got allegations on allegations at the moment as well, so it's really just not ideal. I mean, I think Ilya did say it best in one of his interviews that he did do, is that the downfall of Conor McGregor is that he didn't stick to the values that he had back when he was fighting for a title.
Sé que no es lo que era. Es un McGregor que representa más el alcohol y las drogas que el deporte. No me he inspirado en Conor. Yo lo he admirado cuando era pequeño. Yo y mucha gente que yo conozco quería seguir sus pasos porque era un ejemplo de la fe, de que todo se puede conseguir, de trabajo, de constancia, del esfuerzo. Y él sí lo ha perdido, porque ha traicionado los valores que le han llevado hasta ahí. Está claro, ¿no?, de lo que estamos hablando, ¿no? Que un tipo que hoy en día no representa los valores que representaba hace años. Se nos ha ido un ídolo.
He had something that he wanted to work for. He's obviously gotten all that. He was a superstar. I mean, he still is. But now he's at a point in his career and in his life, the guy's got everything. I mean, it's pretty much just life complacency at this point. I mean, he's got everything he wants, and there's just not much that he can do. Obviously, he's broken his leg. He's been out for such a long time. I think he does know that he just cannot compete with the fighters that are there today. He does not have the ground game. He does not have the ground game to beat guys like Islam, like even going into welterweight against guys like Shavkat and Usman. They're just too naturally big for him, and the wrestling pedigree that they have, I mean, he's never going back to featherweight. And honestly, he never should have left featherweight. Obviously, we got the fight with Eddie Alvarez, which just shot him to superstardom, but looking at it retrospectively now, probably would have preferred to never have left featherweight, being 7-0 there. So yeah, it is hard seeing the downfall of like the biggest MMA superstar there is, but at the same time, you kind of bring it on yourself. Least salty Dana White tweet: "One championship is the best thing that's ever happened to me, and Ben Askren is the best thing to ever happen to the UFC." Man, Dana White trading that trade for Ben Askren and Demetrious Johnson. I'm gonna make a video about that at some point, but man, what a trade. I mean, look, fair enough in terms of Ben Askren obviously having the trade there. It did allow Jorge Masvidal to rise. Obviously UFC got a lot of money out of that, but I mean, just the trade overall in terms of fighter to fighter, Ben Askren got memed badly. And Demetrious Johnson only lost once in one championship, and then he defeated the guy Merab 2 times after he lost to him. I mean, DJ, my goat, the guy is just an absolute beast. But yeah, Dana White, I think that was not the best idea having him go, that's for sure. Hope you enjoyed today's first ever MMA Melts video. Please like, comment, subscribe, leave any feedback that you do have for the videos as well, and I will catch you in the next one.